You guys ever heard that age-old argument of the Beretta versus Sig? Well, it's back. What we got going on here is I have a Sig P226 Legion and a Beretta 92X full size. So more or less what I've got here is basically two modernized versions of what I like to call the legacy guns. They're upgraded, they're enhanced, and they are back and better than ever. So what I want to do today is, in a kind of a medium-length video, I'm going to go over the pros, cons, and features of both pistols and kind of let you decide if a modernized version of an old-school Beretta 92 or a Sig Sauer P226 are maybe in your avenue. So going over it, both of which are 9mm, pretty standard, usual hoot and caboodle kind of thing. They're both double-action, single-action guns, alloy-framed. In the case of the Sig, it's got a stainless steel slide. Beretta 92 is just a standard, like a carbon steel. Nothing too fancy. So let's just jump right into it. So both of which are modernized versions of, like I said, the legacy guns. They've taken things over the years that people have disliked about the pistols and essentially fixed them. Both companies did that, but they both went their own way. The Sig went more so towards a looks, appeal, and group kind of thing, whereas the 92X went more so along the what do you hate about the gun? We'll fix it. It's kind of what's happening here. So let's get into it. We'll start with the X series. So the Beretta 92X full size is the modern iteration of the Beretta 92-M9A1. This one is kind of one of those setups where no one really saw it coming, but everybody's glad it came. I really should have thought that out better before I worded it like that, but I'm going to commit to it. So basically, when we get into the setup, the 92X series is everything about the 92FS fixed. So getting into it, you've got removable front sight. So you've got a dovetail front sight. Now look at the cat hair on this thing. You've got a removable front sight. So now, unlike in the original 92FS, if you don't like the front sight, you smash it out of there and put a new one in, you're good to go kind of thing. They also shorten the barrel a wee bit, and now it's almost flush fit to the slide, whereas with the old 92FS, it actually poked out just a little bit. So it's a little bit shorter of a barrel now. As we work our way back, they maintain the open slide design. And the guns themselves from the factory can come with the decock only conversion. So, or what us Beretta people call the Type G. So basically what that is it's a spring system in here that when I turn the safety on, it'll decock the pistol, which I will show you guys. So it'll decock the pistol and then spring itself back up into the fire position. It is not a safety. These guns do come with safeties and the G-Series conversions. It kind of just depends which one you get. This one specifically started out as a Beretta 92 Type F, which is the safety decocker. I personally have since changed this out and turned it into a Type G. Continuing on with the sights. So the sights went to, I guess you could say, a combat or a target style sight where it's got a serrated blacked out rear and a colored front. Now, this one's fairly dirty, as you can see, but it's a high visibility, like orange dot. It is not a fiber optic. It's just an actual dot. So that's something to consider. There's no front serrations on it. There is a standard Picatinny rail on the bottom for your lights, lasers, accessories, things, and such. Continuing our way, so the big change with the 92X series of guns is with the Vertec grip. Now, this one specifically still has the old school 92FS style grip on it, but you can get it where it's the Vertec grip, like the Beretta 92 Vertex, where it's a nice straight back grip, similar along the lines of like a 1911. So that the benefit with the X series of guns, as well as the like the Performance series, is you've got options. You can have a Vertex style grip or a wraparound grip that's more in line with the original 92FS grip. So that's really nice. You've also got an enlarged mag release. So they took it from the standard old little button that it was, made it nice and big to reach. Great little setup. And they have beveled the mag well. So now for your speed reloads, it's a little bit quicker to get those mags in there. I will touch on the triggers. Now, as a full disclosure, This gun, unlike the 226, has trigger work done afterwards by myself. I have installed the Beretta Extreme S trigger group. So this pistol, or this 92X, has the same trigger spring, like trigger, hammer spring, sear, as a 92X Performance. So essentially, this is a 92X full size with a 92X Performance trigger group. So just bear that in mind. The double action is a very nice 6 pounds. Not quite as smooth as you'd think coming from the 92X Performance, but still an absolutely excellent trigger group. The single action. So the single action is a very clean, about 3.5 pounds on my gauge. It's a very fast trigger. Now the reset, it's not bad. I felt worse, but it's a night and day difference over the original 92 FS. That being said, still not great. It still has a fair bit of take up to it, so I'd say just keep that in mind. Just gonna give you a little look-see over here. Okay, let's grab the Legion here. So the Legion is one of those, what Sig did with it was kind of make it pretty, is what I'm going to say to that. It's still a functional, good, legit 226, but they have made some changes to it. So some of the big changes are, like, you can see the ghost gray color finish, which is like a PVD finish. The big one on these guys is the sights. So it has what they call X-Ray 3 night sights. So you've got your nice high visibility green dot up front with a tritium vial. Same goes for the back. So it's a blacked out serrated rear until it gets dark, and then you've got some nice night sights to go by. So this is a really good idea. I've always liked these sights. I've always been a very, very big believer in them. And Sig just knew what they were doing when they did this. Continuing our way, the gun does, unlike the 92X, does have front and rear serrations. The front serrations are there. They're nothing too fancy kind of thing, but they do work. They're not as sharp or as deep as I would like, but for what they are, they do their job. Continuing our way back, obviously you see it's got the Legion logo up top. That's just marketing. Hammer, usual group. The controls on the Legion are small, and I'm going to leave it at that. I'm not terribly familiar with P226s. I've owned a couple. This is the only one I own left. It's a good gun. To me, the controls are small, especially the slide stop. So if you ran the gun slide lock kind of thing and you go to do a quick reload, you are going to struggle to hit that. I was out shooting this gun today, just speed shooting it, practicing with it, seeing what I could do, and I could not for the life of me get enough of my thumb. Now, granted, I don't have big hands. I've got like, oh, I'm still dirty from cleaning this thing. Yes, that is carbon all over my hands. It's not dirt, just FYI. I could not for the life of me hit that on the first try. I kept having to like do one of those before I could get it to go. So that's a little discouraging for me. But granted, I shoot IPSC. For the most part, you should never run the gun slide lock. If you do, it's probably because you screwed something up. So I'll leave that for what it is. One feature I do like on this, actually, ignoring the small controls, is the takedown lever here. So when you get your shooting grip, a lot like the 92X Performance, it's got a nice little ledge actually just to rest your thumb on and keep your grip nice and firm on it. I like that because it gives your thumb an index point where to rest. The 92X doesn't have that on its. I'm sure it is an attachment you can buy afterwards, but. Mag release has a nice, almost the same texturing as the actual grip itself. Very easy to reach. I don't have the mag in it. Very easy to reach, so when you dismount the gun to reload, mag changes on this gun are a breeze. It's very, very easy to reload this gun quickly, with the exception of the slide stop. Now, as we work our way down, the actual grip, so these are G10 grips, with the as you can see again, the Legion emblem embedded in there. The grip is aggressive, it is sharp, but not quite to the level of the 92X. It's comfortable. I love the feel of these grips, but personally, I prefer the X Series grip more, just because these have like almost sharper diamonds to them. So when you grab this, you get a good grip on it. Needless to say, in the rain or if wet hands, you're not going to drop either of these guns. You've got nothing to worry about there. So I wouldn't fret too much about it. Magwell, same thing. It's beveled not quite to the level of the 92X, but it is a beveled magwell. The grip, now if we talk about the grip in general, between the X and the Legion wins. Just for sheer ergonomics of how the grip fits in your hand, the 226 in general is a more ergonomic gun than a Beretta 92. Most people who know me know I'm a diehard Beretta guy. I'm a huge Beretta fanboy. Obviously, I'm pretty loyal. But even I can't argue that the 226 has a better just overall grip compared to a 92. Now, if we got rid of this grip and put the Vertec grip on, most people are going to change their opinion and probably say the Vertec grip feels better. For me, the Vertec's just too small, so I put the wraparound grip on it, which is weird saying that because I only have medium-sized hands. The trigger. So it's got I believe they call it Grey Gun Works trigger done to it. The double action is, I'm trying to figure out how to describe this. It's heavy. So that double action trigger, it's heavy to set the gun off, but as soon as you get the trigger moving, that all the weight disappears. So it's almost like 10 pounds to get the trigger moving, and then it's nothing. Like there's no stacking the trigger. Like with the 92s, you can kind of get it going. Now again, aftermarket trigger, I understand that, but this trigger, man, did it take some learning to get used to, because it's just like heavy, nothing. Like there's no staging that double action trigger. And that's really weird to me, but I kind of like it. The single action, now the single action is where this gun shines. Again, like the 92, it's got a lot of take up to get to that wall, but like the 92 and even a 1911, I mean, there's no creep. When you hit that wall, the trigger breaks. Like that's it. It's just, it's glass. Both of these pistols have an incredible single action trigger, especially with the trigger work done on that one. Oddly enough, where the 226 wins is that reset. So the reset on this gun with the SRT and the Grey Gun works to it. As soon as you let go, as soon as you take pressure off that, it's reset. Like there's no releasing. Like it's the second you take your finger pressure off that, it's reset. The 92 with the Extreme S trigger group, you can see it's got some travel. So the 226 in general, even though this gun has got trigger work to it, the Legion, the trigger wins. I'll just say that. The trigger absolutely wins. Either way, they're both phenomenal guns. I mean, you can't go wrong with either of them. Field strip, just because I haven't done a field strip in a video in a while. Standard 226, nothing too fancy. And I mean, boom, they come apart. After that, disassembly is standard. The only thing I don't like about either of these guns is you have to reset the slide lock. So that's, again, that is something really nitpicky, but having been spoiled by guns that reset it themselves, it's kind of aggravating. So same thing with the 92. You don't have to lock the slide back on the 92. You just push the button here and rotate your lever down. She falls apart. And then there you go. Move forward a bit. Another thing I do want to mention, the Legion comes with a stainless steel factory guide rod. The Beretta 92 comes with a plastic non-captured guide. They're both non-captured guide rods. The 92 comes with a plastic one. I have since upgraded to the gold one. The stainless steel guide rod with the gold spring, just for the corrosion resistance. And it's pretty. In terms of the control layout, this is a hotly debated topic. And what I mean by that is the safety. On these, if this is a Type F with the safety decocker, terrible. Everybody, like even most Beretta loyal guys, will generally agree that if this is a Type F gun, the safety should not be on the slide, because you get those people that, as they rack it, they accidentally turn the safety on. So I can see why that's an argument. For myself, it's not really a big deal, just because mine's a Type G. But in terms of actually reaching the controls, it's fine. I have no issue manipulating the controls on this gun. The 226, I can't reach the decocker without like substantially dismounting my grip, which is fine, because most of the time, even on the 92, I actually use my support hand. So I keep my firing hand firm on the grip, and I actually use my support hand to decock the gun. I usually do the same on the Beretta as well. But what I'm going to say is, for the most part, in terms of controls, with the exception of the slide stop, the Sig, I would say, wins on that. Just because the controls are a little more well thought out, I guess you could say. Now, if we get into some cons, both guns have their cons. Con number one is the price point. Now, bear in mind, I'm in Canada, so take this for what it is. A gun like the 92X goes for about $1,200 to $1,300. So it's not necessarily as cheap as a standard old 92FS, but if you look at the features and everything you get with the gun, it's worth the price point, in my opinion. Like you get your value out of it. The 226 is not worth the price point. Or the Legion, let me rephrase that. The Legion is not worth the price point. In Canada, these guys go for $1,900 to $2,100. Like it is stupid expensive for a P226 in my eyes. Granted, you get some nice features to it, but I don't feel you get $2,000 worth of value out of this gun. And I'll just leave it at that. Now, granted, you can join the Legion. Here in Canada, that's not an available feature. So that's a little disappointing to me, is you don't have a lot of stuff available from the Sig Legion. Or being a member of the Legion, those benefits aren't necessarily available to Canadians. So that's also something we're losing out on. The biggest con with both of these guns is the finish. It's crap. And I mean on both. These guns wear insanely fast. So on the 92, starting to see the holster wear there. A lot of cracks and scratches. Holster wear down on the bottom. It's really noticeable on this side. Now, granted, finish is finish. It at some point or another, it's going to wear off. This 92 has around 2,000 rounds through it. Not much in the grand scheme of things. So 2,000 rounds. It's not a ton, but the issue I have is on the inside of this pistol. You can see the finish isn't wearing off, it's flaking off. Yeah, there's where it's really bad. Like, I could literally scratch that with my fingernail and you'll actually see pieces come off. So I don't know what kind of finish they're using. Some people say it's a Cerakote. It does not feel like a Cerakote, but it's wearing incredibly fast. So a downside is definitely, on this gun, is definitely the finish. It is not durable. So if you're looking for a gun that's going to stay pretty for a long period of time, you're looking in the wrong place. If you're looking for a hammer that you're going to beat the holy shit out of, this is what you want. Now, granted, this gun has turned into my... I actually got rid of my 92X Performance. This is my primary gun I run for IPSC now, so I fully expect this gun to wear extremely bad, so I'm not overly concerned about that. The Legion is a massive complaint. People complain about the finish on this thing all the time. So I'm the second owner of this pistol. The first owner put 100 rounds through it. I have put 300 rounds through it. The mag well is pretty well destroyed already. And we're already, right up top here, you can see it. We're already getting holster wear on it. I have holstered this gun a total of 12 times, maybe 13 times in total. So 13 times this gun has been drawn, fired, and reholstered. And it's already showing noticeable holster wear. So Again, if you're looking for a pretty gun or something you want as a display piece, neither of these are the gun for you. Now, if it comes down to having to choose a winner between the two, I don't want to. I really like them both. I love them both. I've always been a Beretta guy, but I mean, I really, really enjoy the 226 and the 320 pistols. So I am not going to pick a winner in this video. I'm going to leave that to you guys. But what do you think? Do you think the 226 Legion's the way to go? You think the 92X is better? Or should we just say the hell with double action, single action guns and make the change to the modern striker fire? Thanks everybody for watching, and I will see y'all next time.